Welcome to episode 14 of Steins Gate. Last time we had Mayuri dying over and over and over with seemingly no way around it. And so I don't know if we're just going to keep doing that, but I really want to see what's going to happen, so let's go ahead and watch it. We'll talk about it at the end. For now, we're going to click play in 3, 2, 1, play. We might just get that for episodes on end, him trying to do other things, figure out how to break out of this cycle of her dying. It seems the universe just has it out for her. So we're gonna montage. What just happened there? Did she just get hit in the head by something randomly? Either way, we're just gonna establish the fact that he's gonna keep doing it over and over, and she's gonna keep dying. We don't have to watch the full sequence every time. Which I wouldn't even mind, because it would instill such hopelessness. Yeah. She just randomly dies. It's like it was meant to be. Love these visuals. How many times has he tried now? Ooh, look at that. Ein! He's still trying. He's tried so many times now, and he's still doing it. Add the damn watch! Have you tried just like... I don't know, go somewhere else and just, like, sit in a room. And just have her sit in a chair and do nothing. Don't let her touch anything. Like, I guess they just end up finding them. If that's the case. If there's nothing around that can kill her. She just dies no matter what. Mm-hmm. None of it is real? Yeah, I mean, there we go. Him to just straight out say, all this shit that I've been screaming about for all these years. I don't believe that. The organization, there is one now, clearly. CERN. Steins Gate, I don't know what that is. That's just a thing you made up. It's real. It's a thing. I'm watching it. And, well, fate, destiny, we shall see. So yeah, I mean, we've still got like 10 episodes. What are we going to do through that whole time? I have no idea. Can't wait. And I get to hear this opening every time because it didn't change. Now seeing these parts of the opening is just so different. Seeing all those Mayuris, that's just sad. Because they're all dying. Alright, well, let's see what he can do. He still seems to be working alone. Has he tried telling anybody else yet? Physically, necrosis. Oh yeah, there's a branching story, alright. He just tells them to leave. Just get out. Look at him, he has to go through this so many times. He won't let them in. Yeah, I'm starting to lose motivation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Messi confront Moeka. And you know I had the thought. Her nickname is Shining Finger, because the way her finger goes on the phone. Then we had her big moment was that her finger was on a trigger. Just recontextualizing Shining Finger. I was like, God damn it. Alright, yeah, there you go. This is something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck off. Answer the question. Rounders. The film? Alright. Yeah, because they don't have the IBN in this world line, right? And she doesn't know about it. Yeah, they don't. It's not even there. When she came there, she was talking about the microwave, wasn't she? Is it secretly there somehow? Yes. Those two things are pretty interlinked. Only as a result of the messages CERN was sending. How do they know he tried to go public? Like all he ever said was he was in the lab and he just said that to them. I don't know who all was there when he said it. So FB is my all. What the fuck? Who's this FB? What do they think? Okabe is John Titor? They know of John Titor, but no, it's not him. Well, shit. This time he's captive. Getting back to the phone, to the microwave, to time leap is essential. It's a good idea to confront her, but this is just dark. See, like, the only reason he was going to go public is because they were sending him threatening messages. Like, they are within CERN, right? These rounders, like, what exactly is the deal with them? Every time. And back at it again. I guess he always comes back to the same point every time because he probably doesn't have time to, like, adjust how far back he's going to go. It's always a very intense situation. Can't you just do it again? Go back again from here, further? Have they got... Yeah, they are... At this point, they've already gotten all the pieces for it and whatnot. Back to Ruka. Yeah, he's just like going through the motions. Even though he already knows all this. This is not a fun time. This is just horrible. Let them help you. See, she knows that you leapt through time. Ugh. But maybe they can try to help. Yeah, well, used it so many times already. I don't know if there will be side effects. Let's hear it. What? So let's do it. Whoa! Hey, she did the Kioma! She did the thing! That was great. What better way to do it than over pizza? Yeah, just fill her in on it every time. That's a weirdly ass specific, but I guess it works. What? The hell are you talking about? Okay. Good one, Christina. Just do it again. So we're still trying on costumes. Simpler times. So what are you going to do now? You got to fill Karisu in on it again. Tell after the fact. We were racing. But where do you go from here? Okay, so he's sitting her down here. Okay, he emailed. I time-leapt. Uh-huh. She hasn't really seen anything to make her think that yet, so it'll take a little convincing this time. That sounds like me. Yeah, whatever the hell that means. Uh-huh. It does. Hey, Suzuha's here. Yeah, I mean... Have you talked to Suzuha at all? She's the one who kicked all their asses. And then held Moeka off. Have you tried having her do that a little sooner? Talk to her. Yeah, but what do you say this cause is? Well, then you're saying it's just fate. Yeah. All right, so we're rejecting that. Fuck it. Something specific that happened that makes it so she has to die now. How can that be? Can you go ahead and contribute? Can you go ahead and tell them everything you know, please? The beta world line? Alrighty, she's got this tube showing them which world line they're in. This thing of tubes. And he built it. Yes, for some reason. Okay, so there's a period there. I was like, is that a number of times he's jumped? But no. It's how far away it is from previous world line. So we need to get to 1%. To the beta world line. Away from the original one where CERN would do what they do, into one where they don't. There she goes. Of some sort. A warrior. We've been over it. Hi. But he's the one who can do it. The Gulf War, big one. Why the Gulf War? Because it's just a big thing in general. I'm Daru's daughter from the future. That would be a time machine. John Titor? Yeah, okay. That's not it, is it? Great. Fantastic. So, it's not going to be anything after the ED, so let's talk about that one. Alright, episode 14. Okabe is continuing to try to save Mayuri. I don't know how many times exactly he's done it at this point, but we start with just a little bit of a montage and him talking about how he keeps trying and no matter what, it keeps happening. Either Moeka and her people, the Rounders, find her and kill her, or she just dies in a totally unrelated way, like last time with the train. It's as if it's just fate itself. The universe is just trying to kill Mayuri for whatever reason, and he just keeps going through it, and it really feels hopeless. And man, we don't see like the full time loop playthrough every single time, but we can tell that he's done it many times, and from everything we see, it just seems really bad. When he was in the car crying, the performance there was just fantastic. That was such a heartbreaking, dark, hopeless moment. Him being held captive there in the car. Just the animation on his face and Mamoru Miyano's voice. You just feel so bad for what's happening. And it just feels so bleak. When he runs off to go to the time machine again, it's like, you want him to keep trying because you want her to survive, but it just feels like it's not going to amount to anything. And it doesn't seem like it is. And they start to speculate about why, because he does bring Karisu into it. Thankfully, it's one of the very important things he needed to do. Not try to shoulder it all himself, but to get help and bringing her into it. Allows her to have a couple ideas. And so we're thinking that maybe there's something somewhere that has caused Mayuri's death to be set for this one specific time. What could that thing be? I don't know. But the way they explained it is interesting. Like, the Rounders are the result, like the thing that directly caused her death, that lead to her death, but they aren't the cause. What is this cause? Something earlier in time that for some reason makes it so she has to die here. I cannot think of a thing. I don't know what that could possibly be. I don't know if we will ever get some explanation about that, or if it is genuinely just fate, and we're gonna have to fight against fate and overcome it, or if there really is something else that we will need to go actually and affect? I have no idea. I don't know what that could be. Like she says, it could be her birth itself that makes it so that she must die, which, I mean, yes, this is true for all people. The fact that you were born means you're going to die. But yeah, specifically, it's like just the fact that she was born means she might have to die here, and that's just fate. But she's not going with that theory, and there's something else, so maybe we will have to use our intelligence. The characters will have to think of things and try to figure out exactly what must be done to save Mayuri. Rather than just focusing on right now, today, few hours before her death, you need to start working from an earlier point in time. You know, again, you can work with D-mails with that. I don't know what they'll do, where they'll go. But I'm glad that Kurisu is in on it. Of course, every time he leaps back, he's going to have to tell her again. But that seems to be easy now with this whole personal fork thing, with whatever the hell that's about. But she was great in this episode. Her comforting him, getting him to get up and go. Again, the animation when they grabbed hands, that was so detailed and thorough. And of course, the pose and her adopting the persona, because he just shattered it. He was like, the organization, Steins Gate, Destiny, it's all bullshit. Like, he just acknowledged it. Because as we saw last time, it is a persona, at least mostly. You know, I talked about that before, like how much of it is really who he is and how much of it is a persona. But like, he knows those things are not real. And he was like, I'm tossing that shit out. Now's not the time for that. That's not real. And he just acknowledges it. And that might be kind of one of the reasons he started to get so demotivated. Because, of course, adopting that persona is what allowed him to try to care for Mayuri this whole time and allowed him to keep going. He always brought out that persona. Like, I'm going to be the one to change the world's ruling structure. And he was down in the dumps. And Kurisu bringing out her own Kiyoma, which was fantastic, was helpful to him to get him to go again. And that was great. Because it just sucks seeing him lose his motivation and get so hopeless about this. Like when he time leaps back and he's just standing in the lab, thinking about how he's done this over and over again. And one of the most impactful ones to me was when he went to Ruka. He got there by the time that Mayuri had already gone, and he knew that. He knew all this already. He already knows where she is at any given time. But he's just going through the motions. Because what else can he do? So he just goes there. Where's Mayuri? And he already knows the answer. And he's told. He's like, yeah, I already know that. But he did it anyway. Because what else can he do? He's just doing it, going through the motions, and can't stop it. And it really sucks. Another good idea was confronting Moeka. It definitely did not work out, but it was something that I wanted to see him try at least once, just to show that he did try it. Going back to see her and try to find out information from her, and she just goes on and on about FB. They're called Rounders, and she just loves FB. So whatever the deal with that is. But yeah, that and getting help. Definitely good ideas. Maybe bring in Daru at some point as well. Suzuha is the big important one that you really need to bring in, and I'm really glad that she revealed herself at the end of this episode, because I was like, you know, she's the one who can go in there and kick ass, beat all those guys up, and stop Moeka for a while. So even if we're just talking about the physical fight going on, she's very helpful, but she has a lot of knowledge, being from the future, which she obviously is. So I didn't know how much longer we would have to go without him knowing that, and without him knowing that Suzuha is really the one he needs to talk to. So I'm really glad that she came out and revealed herself, and she gives us a lot of information. Of course, revealing that she is a time traveler, specifically John Titor, which I had talked about before. Towards the beginning of the series, I kind of wanted John Titor to be his own person, because I wanted to meet him later and see what he was like. Then later on, I was thinking, well, maybe Suzuha just is him, since I was aware that she was the time traveler, because that was made obvious very early on, and she mentioned her father being Beryl Titor, and so I was like, okay, maybe she's just John Titor, and she is. The thing that crashed into the building, time machine, which, in episode 1, initially, when he saw the thing on the roof, that's the same thing? Like the thing that landed on the roof there, and then this satellite that crashed into the building, that's the same time machine, just in that one it crashed? Or something? I don't know. Tell me the details about that. I can't remember all the specifics. But either way, shows him the time machine. She's from 2036. And she goes into details about the world lines, the 1% divergence, which we've heard about before, how he has to try to achieve that, the alpha and beta world lines. And again, the show does a really good job of its metaphors, like explaining with the ropes, the different threads that go around the rope that all lead to one place. Like all these things that are slightly different, but will all lead to Mayuri's death. But then you've got this separate rope over here. So like the alpha world line, originally where we're from, CERN gets the time travel and they do all the shit that they do. So we need to get to 1% divergence, a beta world line, which will be different enough, from what I can understand, to where that does not happen. And Okabe is the only one who can do that because of his reading Steiner ability. And because this period in time is a time of significant enough importance to where you can shift the world line that much. Normally it's impossible, but apparently there are certain points in time, big enough, important enough moments, important enough changes that can be made with different decisions to where you can shift the world line that much. 2010, being the year the time machine was invented, is one of those times. So that's why she came back to this time, I guess. We need a big enough change in some way. I don't know. Now, of course, this also makes me think back to the original timeline that we started in, with Kurisu being killed and then not, and how that affected everything. But yeah, I don't know if D-mails will continue to be a thing, because of course, with the time leap machine, Kurisu said she doesn't want to risk sending him too far back, because it would risk the machine not being completed. She sent him back to right around the time it was being completed. I don't fully understand that, because as far as they've said, the time leap machine doesn't change the world lines, so him leaping back to before that machine was created shouldn't affect it, right? I mean, because he wasn't the one, making it and putting it all together, so as long as he doesn't interfere, I suppose it's just not worth the risk. You never know that he might go do something different that would somehow cause Daru or whoever to be distracted and not finish it at the same time, and you just don't want to risk it. I do understand that. Not wanting to have the time leap machine broken or never completed, that would be horrible. And then as for D-mails, I don't know, because in the same way you might not want to risk changing the world lines to something wildly different, but apparently we need to. We need to change the world line to the 1% divergence number, so it's not going to be through D-mails that we do that, it's just going to be through something else, like she said, a big enough change, big enough decisions, but how does that work exactly? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out, because right now it's at 0.337. I don't know if that's the distance from the alpha world line. If so, we got a ways to go. What kind of big things need to happen, and how, in order to get to the beta world line? Shit. I don't know. But yeah, and then, again, back to the Rounders and that whole thing. They were talking about how the biggest thing Okabe did to make them come after him now was that he was going to go public, which is understandable. That's very bad for them. They don't want this to get out there, get into the hands of other people. But it just sucks, because the only reason he had this thought to go public is because they were threatening him. Presumably that was them, right? Who knows? Maybe not, but I guess it had to have been. And he was trying to find a way to proceed while trying to get the target away from his friends. And he's like, okay, well, take it public, put it into the hands of other people, and that caused them to move in and do what they did. And she still says that her goal is to get the IBN, which is, of course, what she's been after the entire time. But, she still went to the lab. But it's not even there anymore in this world line, so what is the deal with that? Is it somehow there, secretly, or something? I don't know. I don't know anything. But yeah, it was a good episode. It just had this bleak, dark feeling, but with great moments for Kurisu. I love the moments between her and Okabe. Of course, the pose was fantastic. Him calling her Kurisu and then being like, oh, I guess the me from 5 hours ago won't know that you called her Kurisu, and she was really upset about that. So that's great, seeing those two. And then, of course, Suzuha at the end with all the explanation and the time traveler reveal. Thank God they're not trying to keep that a secret anymore, because it never was. It's the most obvious thing in the world. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're going, but I'm excited to see. So, if there are any specifics you want to talk about, details that I might be fuzzy on, that aren't major spoilers, let me know down in the comments. We can talk about anything down there. Keep discussing the episode. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. We got new episodes of Steins Gate every Monday, and you can check out the Discord if you want to come talk some more, and the Patreon if you want to support the channel and get early videos. Those links are in the description below, so thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.